Hello wine people, it's Peter from Thirsty and Wise, where we simplify wine. I'm super excited about this video series, which I call Dry Wine Tasting Challenge. What is a dry wine tasting? Dry wine tasting means that I'm going to be describing a wine. I'm going to be using the WSET Level 2 in wine systematic approach to tasting. I'm going to be showing you how I would describe a grape and a wine that is coming from a particular region without actually tasting the wine here in front of you. I can do this because I tasted these wines several times. I know the benchmark how these wines taste, and I'm going to be describing it without actually tasting the wine. So I'm going to be using the WSET Level 2 in wine systematic approach to tasting. And also, I'm going to leave the link below for you to see this systematic approach to tasting. It's an available document on WSET Global. And I'm also going to be leaving you the same link will lead you also to the specification document, where you can actually see all the recommended wines that are going to be in this video series. The dry tasting technique is even used on a Master of Wine entry exam. The practical part can actually be done by using a dry wine tasting technique. All right. On the end of the video, I'm going to give you 4 options, what the grape variety and the origin of the wine is. And then we're going to use an educated guess based on the clues, how the wine looks, how the wine smells, how the wine tastes, to come to a logical, educated guess. So stay tuned and let me know if you didn't subscribe. I believe this channel provides great value and fun for you. So the idea is for us to taste this wine. Think. It's not just skipping to the end of the video to see what the wine is. Let's use logic of how the wine looks, smells, tastes to come to a logical conclusion. This is, I believe, it's going to be a fun video series and also educational. You're going to see how I think when I describe a wine and how I would come to a conclusion about the origin and the grape. Of course, this is not science. There's a lot of practice that is involved, and of course, you're not going to be, in most cases, you're not going to be right. All right, so let's go. So wine number 1. So this is going to be a clear, pale lemon green color. So this indicates right away that it's a white wine. It is most probably not an aged wine because it's pale in color, it's probably young, and also the lemon green indicates youthfulness in this wine, and also potentially coming from a cool climate because of this greenish color in the wine. Okay. On the nose, the wine is clean, there's no faults, and the intensity is pronounced. This grape variety is pronounced. And should be and specifically coming from this region is always pronounced. Very clear what is the grape variety and the origin. Aroma characteristics, this wine will have primary and secondary aromas. This wine is not really a wine that benefits with age, and it's usually not aged. You should drink it as soon as possible. I'm going to show you the actual aromas in the following in a few seconds. On the palate, the wine is dry, high acidity, no tannin. Alcohol is medium, body is medium, so alcohol around 13 and a half. It's not really a wine that is ever above 14% alcohol. Body is medium. Flavor intensity again follows the nose, pronounced, very clear on the nose in regards to the aromas. Flavor characteristics, primary and secondary. finish is medium. It's not really a wine that will linger and be described as a long finish, even though sometimes the acidity in this wine can linger, but it's not the acidity or the tannin or the sweetness that you're concentrating when you're describing a finish. It's more about the flavor, actual flavor that lingers on the palate when you drink it or spit it out. I'll come back to the conclusion about the quality. The aromas for this wine is so green fruit like green apple, gooseberry. I know that these aromas are subjective, but the idea is for you to have the understanding. For example, when I say green fruit, what does that mean? The green fruit means that the grapes are coming from a cool to moderate climate. Citrus fruit like lemon. For this specific wine, something very specific is passion fruit. So this wine has this kind of passion fruit, guava kind of character in many cases. Specific about this wine is also herbaceousness. So green bell pepper, green capsicum. And the fruit ripeness, it has a combination actually of slightly unripe and ripe fruit, which is very specific for this wine. The secondary aroma of this wine, the wine doesn't age in oak, but it can age on dead yeast cells after the fermentation is finished and gets this bread dough kind of character, cheesy character. Okay, so let's come to the conclusion about this wine. Conclusion about wines, for level 2 is about quality. You just talk about quality on the conclusion. On level 3, you talk about quality and readiness for drinking. On the Master of Wine level, you talk about the grape, origin, production, winemaking, viticulture, but let's stick to level 2. So for this wine, I would describe it as very good. When we describe the quality of wines for level 2, we use the BLITZ system. So BLITZ means, its acronym for B is for balance, L is for length, I is for intensity, identifiable characteristics of the wine, and C is for, what is the C? C for complexity. So this wine, so a very good wine should have 3 of these characteristics. So it is a wine that has balance. So balance meaning that it has high acidity but has pronounced flavor intensity that will balance the acidity. Length is going to be medium, so it's not really long but medium. Intensity is pronounced, very well defined. Complexity, it has complexity, but it's not a super complex wine. It has a complexity in regards to different aromas of primary fruit, like citrus, green, and some passion fruit, some ripe fruit. And it also has some yeast character, bread dough. So it has some complexity, but it's not the most complex wine. So the options for this wine, what do you think the wine and the grape is? So options are Albarino from Rias Baixas, Sancerre, Sauvignon Blanc from Loire Valley, Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, or Viognier from Northern Rhone Condrieu. The first 3 options, Albarino, Sancerre, and Marlborough, would be something that could be in regards to the freshness of the fruit, the acidity. It's not Viognier because Viognier is going to have medium to lower acidity, so Viognier falls out. It's not Albarino because Albarino doesn't really have this kind of passion fruit and green character to it. Is this Sancerre or Marlborough New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc? It's not Sancerre because you're not really going to find this passion fruit kind of character, and Sancerre is also more restrained. It has a little bit more minerality in a sense. I don't like to use minerality, but sometimes when the wines are very dry, very leesy, they can be described, and with high acidity, they can be described as having mineral character to it. This is a Marlborough New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Very classic. It is one of the great varieties. When you start learning about wine, I would definitely recommend trying a very good New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please comment below what your answer was, and let me know about the feedback about this video. Are you gonna enjoy these videos? Is this interesting? And wine people, let's make wine fun and interesting, and stay thirsty and wise.